It's showtime, folks. Welcome in, Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game here on this Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're having a great start to your day. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier behind the glass as well. What's up, JoJo?
Oh man, happy Monday. Almost was not going to be here because as I told you, you go down Donaldson Pike now runs parallel to the runway. So I love planes landing. I love watching planes take off and land. And so planes were landing and
Yeah.
I find myself, I'm not kidding you, in the other lane. And I'm like, you got to stop doing this. And you ride in your lane and do that. But I can't. And I've seen other cars that kind of drift over as well. So if you're on Donaldson Pike by the airport, when you do that, I empathize with you. But I just got a feeling it's going to be bad there one day because we're all watching the planes come in.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. And like I discovered too that there's a spot that you can go that's like a really good place to watch them take off and land.
Yeah, off of where we left for the Predators.
Yeah,
Volta Boulevard.
Yeah, and I had no idea that place existed, and so I might have to do that someday.
Well, it used to be back before they did all the 9/11 stuff. You could walk up to that fence and look down. It was a picnic area. It was great, and now they've pushed it way back. And you can only stay a certain place. You can't go forward anymore. Kind of ruined it a little bit, but you could still go out there. But just fascinated when these planes come in and land. I can't get enough of it, man.
Yeah. That is Joe's hobby, watching planes take off and land.
It is. Thank you.
It's good. But
does that pay anywhere down the line?
No, it doesn't. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So we're excited for today. Brett Kern going to join us at 10 o'clock as he usually does. It's Combine Week, man. The Underwear Olympics. Cannot wait.
Well, which kind of leads into a question for today. If I sent you to the Combine today, which thing would you excel in? What would you excel in today at 37 years of age? If you went to the Combine right now today, what could you do? Could you run a 40 under 6 seconds?
I would excel at walking off the field and going to sit on the bench.
Right.
I'd be really good at that.
Oh.
Could I run a 40? Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be good. I mean, I don't know if it might be sub 10, but who knows?
Do you think so? You could get it?
I don't know. I did it a few years ago. We had this whole thing set up where we were going to do a video of me and Jared running the 40 and Floyd was going to time us. And, Jared was too cool for it and just like kept bagging out, wouldn't do it. And so I just went and did it myself. And I think I was at like 6.75 or something like that.
Really?
Which was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
All right, Dr. Crane, Wednesday. Or Thursday. It's supposed to be really nice outside. Let's take an hour after the show and go run 40s.
I will not be here Thursday and Friday, but we can do it Wednesday.
Wednesday it is.
We're going to go back on that. So tell your family, whatever, you got to be here.
Yeah, what the hell, man? You're out Thursday and Friday?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'll be on a plane early Thursday morning.
Yeah.
So. I'm asking you because I'm nosy. Where are we going?
We're headed to Las Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you did
never
this
mind.
last year.
I'll let you do that.
I have the rugby event that I need to go to. So
oh,
this
nice.
Is good.
Oh, that'll be a good
This
time.
is year 2 of 5.
So this is the same thing that you went to last year that we were on the same plane.
Yes.
Okay.
My team, the Brisbane Broncos, played last year, and so my brother got me tickets. And then this year, my brother's favorite team, the Warriors, is playing. So it's like, hey, Tony, guess what? Happy birthday.
Oh,
so
nice.
We're headed out there. It's going to be fun.
Well, you two have a blast.
Thank you.
And you're built like a little rugby player too, right? I mean,
He's mean like one too.
Thank you.
Handsome like one.
There's a actual position called the hooker in rugby.
Whoa,
that's
whoa.
Yeah, that's something I might play, or like a wing. I'm cool with that, but nothing with the scrum though.
Vegas, you're going to the right place then.
Yeah, got that right.
Wait, what is a God? Forgive me for saying this.
What does a hooker do?
What does a hooker do?
A hooker is more like the point guard in rugby, where they're able to dish off the ball. From what I've studied about the game, I'm still trying to learn more and more.
Off all right.
Yeah, just still trying to learn more and more about the NRL. There's different types of rugby. There's the international rugby where you playing with your club or your team, I guess the nation that is, and they do 11v11 with scrums. That's where you get into like a giant, I guess. Both teams go shoulder to shoulder at each other and go back and forth. This is more NFL style. You have technically 5 downs to go from 80 yards. If there's a penalty, you get they call it a restart. So like they reset the downs to first down. It's pretty neat.
It is, but they never stop. I watch rugby; they never stop.
That's the beauty about it. Last year, some guy's head gashed open, and they just kept playing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is this what Prince Harry's into, the rugby?
Yeah, but that's a little different rugby.
Okay.
They have a Super League that's in England.
All right.
And there's going to be 2 teams playing in Las Vegas for that as well.
Okay. All right. Good for you. Know what? I'm proud of you for being passionate about something.
Thank you.
Because Lord knows I'm not.
But to answer your combine question, yes, I'd probably get a sub-6 or around 6'5".
Well, we can do it next week.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, we could do it. That's chasing. It's time to change.
With clothes on, I will do
that. All right, that's what it is. Because I don't think I could. Chase and I did bench press on live TV one time.
Oh, yeah, we did do that.
I was in the combine for Channel 4, and I was like, Chase, do this. And I was like, we were bench pressing.
Is this recorded somewhere?
It is.
Probably,
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was funny because like I kept walking away and Floyd and Jared were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm helping Joe with this." Something.
Can I state something?
Yeah.
Chase McCabe's haircut looks quite dapper.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it does, right?
People that watch the stream,
Joe, of course, did the. Oh, did you get in a fight with a lawnmower?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I did actually. No, I it was funny. So, I just I'd been growing it out kind of for the winter and like and I knew what the result was going to be. I have very curly hair, so it was just going to be all over the place, and I just decided I was sick of it. So much to the pleasure of my mother, who was very happy.
Good.
That I went and you want to make mom happy, so
that's the goal.
I walked in yesterday and she was like, "Oh, thank God you got a haircut."
Oh yeah. Where'd you go? Did you go?
I go to my usual spot, Sports Clips.
Yeah. They said, "Well, look who's here."
Yeah,
you walk in.
They did.
You're like giving me the usual. The mom thing. I've told you this. My football coach at junior college said, "Don't embarrass your program. Don't embarrass your teammates. And more than anything else in life, don't embarrass your mom."
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, God, oh yes. Even after they've long said goodbye, I still fear the wrath of my mom 23 hours a day, man. Which is good.
Yeah, 100%. So that was the big highlight of my weekend was getting the haircut.
I thought I was going to the Preds game. Did you go yesterday to the Preds game?
No, I didn't go yesterday. I went Saturday. I did the double. Saturday, went to Vandy as they beat Ole Miss. Fun game.
Okay.
Really fun game. And I think we're going to have Mark Byington sometime this week.
Maybe.
So I look forward to talking to him about, just kind of where his team's at right now and everything.
Yeah.
But, so that was fun. What's hilarious is the trash talking after the game between Ole Miss fans and Vandy fans. And it was mainly Ole Miss fans doing it. They lost the game. And I was just kind of like, just be quiet.
I think more people hate Ole Miss fans than any other fan, at least in my experience. We all have our disdain for Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. Well, I'm telling you, man, I think more people don't like Ole Miss fans than just about anything else in the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, a lot. I don't know what it is, or even people in Mississippi don't like Ole Miss.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but you know who I did see? I saw, I'll give you a hint, an Ole Miss legend that also played for the Titans.
Marshall Henderson.
It was not Marshall Henderson.
Dexter McCluster.
Dexter McCluster. Yep.
How'd you know that?
Because I'm good like that, Joe.
Yeah. He was at the game. Ran into him a couple times downtown, but he was at the game supporting his Rebs. And
okay.
So that was cool.
All right. So do you know? I don't know him, but do you know him?
I mean, we've met. I mean, it was kind of like, "Hey, Dexter, hey, what's up, man? How you been?" Like he kind of did that. And so I guess he remembered me from the Titans locker room and stuff. But no, I mean,
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Did he give you the Key and Peele handshake, bro hug, or did you get the hey?
I got a
Chase, how
fist
are
bump.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of in between right there.
Yeah.
Which is a great Key and Peele skit.
Oh, it's the best.
From back in the day.
So good.
Right?
Obama. How you doing? Oh, get in here. Get in here.
Yes. So Dexter's in between then.
I guess.
All right. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude. We used to have him on quite a bit. Was very media friendly.
Yeah.
And I knew he was still in town. So
Ravenwood? Is that
maybe?
where
Yeah. No. Or was it Brentwood?
Dexter McCluster?
Yeah.
Independence.
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 Okay.
Look
Yeah.
at you, man. Dr.
You
Train
just
over
know.
there.
You just know where
doing all
people
that.
are.
My Dexter McCluster was the 09 Ole Miss team where I think he ran for 1,000 yards against Tennessee that day. Couldn't stop him.
He was so good.
Yep.
So really cool running in it. We'll have to get him on soon and just kind of
and then he comes to the Titans and his dreams all die.
Yeah.
So,
well, he was here 4 years?
Something like that.
He's the last player to wear 22 before Derrick Henry.
Wow. I mean, he's no Bishop Sankey. But then again,
whatever happened to that guy?
I told you, I'll never forget when they drafted him, and it was, why did you draft him? And Rusty Webster said, well, we didn't know much about him, but at the Senior Bowl, he picked up the blitz pretty good. I'm not kidding you. That's what Rustin Webster told us.
You know what's sad? I can name probably 4 or 5 like just absolute misses at running back for the Titans. Bishop Sankey, Chris Henry.
Ugh.
I mean, you can kind of throw Chris Brown in there, but he did have one.
He had 1,000 yard,
1,000 yard season.
Who's the guy that got arrested for the parking in Franklin? He was a former New York Jet player.
Sean Green.
Sean
Green.
I
was about to say his name too. Sean Green was one.
Yes.
Darrington Evans was one. There was another guy that I want to say was like maybe the Wisenhunt, Malarkey, that range.
What do you Deion Lewis? Do you count him in this?
I mean, he was bad. Yeah.
I don't know. He blocked us all, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Antonio Andrews by chance.
Antonio Andrews. Yeah, that's a good one.
Out of Western.
He was more. He didn't come in to run the ball per se. He was more of a special teams guy.
Yeah, but he was a running back. I mean,
he was.
I feel like there's one more. There's one more that just like they loved, and we were like, okay.
It's not. Don't say LeGarrette Blount because they had no intentions of keeping him. And then
that was the dumb. I mean,
nope.
I've said this to Jeff Fisher's face. That was one of the dumbest things he ever did.
Nope. He was not going to play. Like Chris Johnson, he was not going to see the field.
Yeah.
They're going to be cute.
But then trade him.
They're going to be cute and sneak him to the waiver wire. And Tampa Bay said, "We got him," and took him, and he was gone.
I think they would have used him a lot in goal line. Like inside the 20 in the red zone, I think you would have seen him.
I think he was so infatuated with feeding Chris Johnson that year, and especially down the stretch when they were out of it, to give him 2,000 yards. But yeah, just one of those things.
Maybe. But so Titans irrelevant running backs for 500, Alex. That's where we are.
4-hour show on that.
Yeah, we could have some fun. So it is Combine Week. We will hear from the Titans brass tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Vandy basketball wins this weekend. That's on the table. The Predators go 1-1 after the return from the break. There is a lot to discuss with them, so we'll get into that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
for this program, much like the game yesterday in terms of performance there. Where did you work the most of the problem tonight?
Well, actually, I thought we did a lot of good things tonight, with the puck. A little bit of we've had many nights like this, I think, throughout the course of the year. A little disappointing thing was a little bit of the commitment to giving up free offense, and that was something we emphasized coming in the game, emphasized through the break. I think we gave 5 breakaways up. I think we blocked 6 shots, and part of that is I thought we had the puck most of the night. Those little things we talked about being committed kind of got away from us. I thought that second goal was a real kicker. I thought the second period we kind of got into our game. We had lots of good looks. Obviously, give up that one, and then we get a little bit impatient in our game a bit and gave up a couple breakaways and some uncharacteristic things that we didn't do Saturday, and we did a little bit tonight, and got away from us.
That was Andrew Brunette after the 5-0 loss to New Jersey last night. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game. Predators go 1-1 over the weekend after the return from the Four Nations face-off break. And look, Saturday night I thought was a good, hard-fought game against Colorado. And look, Colorado had a couple of guys that I wasn't sure if they were going to be in the lineup or not, and Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar. They did play. You probably caught them at the right time, but they end up getting the win. Saros looked decent in that one. And then you fast forward to Sunday night and they get shut out 5-0. There was a time where they scored, but it was Fedor Svechkov, and it was ruled to be offside. So they took that one off the board and they got shut out for the 8th time this year. Go ahead.
I want to add, I can't tell if they won or lost that soundbite.
I know.
To come on here and say we had some chances, played really hard. You got shut out. Why are you not mad? Why are you not calling out players? Look, and don't say, well, that's not in his DNA. Do you not get mad? Chase, you're a very calm guy.
He's mad.
You get mad. We all get mad sometimes. Why are you not mad? Your team is terrible. Call guys out. You're going to piss them off? Good. Piss them off to play harder. Just this, I don't get the mindset.
I agree.
Am I wrong?
No. Because I was going to bring that up. I know that he's probably out of things to say. Like, I mean, and I think that's, nobody wants to hear that or say that. But I mean, the truth is, like, at this point, what do you say? There's no more explaining it other than, hey, we're just not a good team.
Throw things, break things, hit the wall, do something. Show me you care.
That's not his style.
His style is obviously not being a good head coach because they're terrible.
Well, and look, he's on I would say that he is being evaluated heavily right now. He needs to show. Robbie said it best this morning. Brunette needs to show that he is able to fix it, and he hasn't given many signs that is the case right now. Now, I know that they've taken the system and they're changing things in the system and whatever, but you're at a point where the guys seem miserable. They're not winning. They went 1-1 this weekend. They're not playing great. They're just simply not a good team at this point. And so how much of that, and this is going to be what Barry Trotz is going to have to address. Barry will be on with Jared tomorrow, so look forward to that conversation after a couple of weeks off. But he spoke to Alex Doherty and the Tennessean right after the break, and he's fielding phone calls for guys. Like he knows that they're at that point with the deadline approaching, they got to sell off some guys. But you can certainly see the frustration and hear the frustration. And I think the question for Barry is going to be, looking at how this year has gone, all the talent that was on this team, is it the right move to stick with Andrew Brunette? I made the case earlier in the year when everybody was calling for him to be fired that I didn't think it was all his fault. And ultimately, Barry Trotz and the Predators agreed with that, and they stuck it out, and this is kind of where we are. I do think that is going to be a major conversation. And I've said this before. I like Andrew Brunette. I liked the system. I liked the hire. I liked the people that he had coached under. Take all the other stuff with Chicago aside, but Joel Quenneville was somebody that he obviously learned a lot from. He played for him. He coached with him. So, I mean, I think that there was a lot there. But And then obviously in New Jersey, you know, what they did with that system, what he did as the interim coach in Florida. I mean, it was a good hire. And you saw last year, you had a team that overachieved and he got them into the playoffs. So there was all the indications were that, hey, this was going to be the right guy. It could be that his system and his style just isn't the right system and style for the guys they brought in. And sometimes you have to learn that the hard way. That's what they're going to have to address this offseason.
But we're not stupid. So don't come on the radio and give us, well, they played really hard last night.
I agree. And I get why he's saying that, because he is being a coach. He is looking at things in an analytical way and saying, yeah, the chances were there. But he also, and here's the problem. If you play the soundbite back, which, Nick, if we can, I want you to listen to after he says, I thought we had some good chances. Listen to what he says after.
Well, actually, you know, I thought we did a lot of good things tonight, you know, with the puck. A little bit of we've had many nights like this, I think, throughout the course of the year. A little disappointing thing was a little bit of the commitment to giving up free offense, and that was something we emphasized coming in the game, emphasized through the break. I think we gave, 5 breakaways up. I think we blocked 6 shots. And part of that is I thought we had the puck most of the night. Those little things we talked about being committed kind of got away from us. You know, I thought, you know, that second goal was a real kicker. You know, I thought the second period, we kind of got into our game. We had we had lots of good looks, obviously give up that one. And then we get a little bit.
All right. You can kill it there.
So like he basically tried to give you some sunshine, which I think at this point we don't need.
Yeah. Right.
And then he talked about the things that they didn't do right. The fact of the matter is you lost 5-0. You didn't score a goal. And that's where I am with you, in that even though I don't know what else you say, but I mean, you get up there and go, we lost 5-0. That could have been the answer.
Why can't you call guys out? Is that like a no-no now?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I don't know.
Football do it all the time.
That's not his style, you know, to do that.
Well, obviously
in publicly. Now I think, well, and he has done it some. I'll actually retract that a little bit. He has done it some, but he didn't last night.
Well, I don't advocate for people to be fired.
No, I don't do
that. And you know, and if he came back for another year and said, all right, here's what we learned, we'll go forward. No, like he'd be to me the guy that, all right, we're coming back next year, clean slate. I know what to do now. Few pieces in here, maybe a little bit overwhelmed, and go forward. I'm all for that. If they start out bad, then you fire them. Then you go. You know what's going on right now. But when you're a GM and you hire your head coach, the clock starts ticking on what you're doing here, right? That's your guy. So that's Trotz's guy that he gets in there. That's the guy you put, and nobody wants him to sing more than Barry Trotz, I would think. I mean, that's the guy he handpicked to be the head coach. I just don't like we gave him the old schoolboy try. I need to hear anger. I need to hear that we're pissed off, and I don't hear that.
Yeah,
I don't hear that. And if that's not your DNA, whatever.
Look,
fine,
it's just it at this point, it's hard to pump sunshine and find positives, because
then stop doing it.
You're the 30th. You're like the 30th ranked team in the NHL.
And there will be something, and I was telling Robbie Stanley this in the hallway. There will be something written about this Nashville Predators hockey team about what happens when you bring superstars together. There will be, and we're going to read it. I mean, because it's not like, oh, we're going to get the best superstars, put them together, and you think it's going to be the dream team of 92, when it's not. It's not even close to doing that. And there you look at this outside the box, the 5,000-foot view. All right, what happened? What went wrong? What could be different? You can only do that once the season's over with. I think it'll be talked about for a long time, because this is an absolute disaster.
Yeah. And as Joel points out, he'll call out younger guys. I remember when he did that with Tomasino. He does. It seems like the younger guys he calls out. It's the veterans that
too scared.
I think that's just the player. I think that's the 1,000-game player, veteran that's kind of coming out. Let's see. 3155 says, ask Robbie, why can't they fire Bruno right now? This is brutal. I get the season is over, but regression isn't slowing down. I mean, look, and maybe they decide after the deadline to do something like that. I just, Joe and I are the same way. I don't advocate for guys to get fired. There's obviously a point that you reach where you got to do it. And I think, at the end of the season, as certainly anything's on the table. It's certainly up for a discussion and evaluation, and you have to decide that if this is the group that you're going to have moving forward, that's going to include, these veteran guys like Stamkos and Marchessault and Shea and Yossi and Forsberg, maybe O'Reilly, then you have to really look, is Andrew Brunette the right guy to coach those guys? And if the answer to that, if there's any hesitation at all, and the answer comes out to be no, then you got to make the change.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that right now, I mean, nobody's going to admit this, and look, they are not actively trying to lose. Like, so don't take my words as that's what I'm saying, because I know Barry Trotz, I know Andrew Brunette, I know the makeup of that team. They're not actively trying to do that. But you also have to be realistic that where you are in the standings, it's probably not going to get better. You need to put some young guys in to see what you got. And also, with the result of that is probably going to be you're going to get a top 5 pick. Now, it's a lottery system.
You'll see in 5 years here, maybe.
Well, no, I mean, you get a top 5 that you could see that guy pretty quick. But it's a lottery based system. So even though they're not the worst team in the league, they still could get that number 1 pick because of the lottery. So you have to keep that in mind, that you want to be in a good position in the lottery. Right now, based on standings, I think they'd pick 3rd and then see what happens with the lottery. But I'm just, I feel like now, you kind of got what you got. Like, you can make a coaching change today, and I don't think it's going to make a difference. So
I'm with you, man.
You just write it out and then you make that decision, which, I would say, like, I like Brunette and wanted it to work out. I think that they're going to be in a point, at the end of the season where they may not have a choice. And so that's
before we know it. What?
That's what they got. 26 games, I think. That's what they have to look at. Real quick, Daryl wants to comment on Andrew Brunette. Daryl, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much.
I'm a Florida Panthers fan, and I just want to make a quick comment on Brunette. When he won the President's Trophy, the year Quenneville had to quit, was forced to quit. He took that was before Matthew Tkachuk, when Huberdeau was still there. They won the President's Cup. They won the first round, then they got swept by Tampa in the second round. The big complaint between us Florida fans, many of them that I heard, was that when the playoffs started, it's defensive hockey in the playoffs, and the guy Brunette didn't show any ability to take things up or change the lines. He made no attempts. He just kept on with the same system that he had during the regular season. He didn't make any adjustments, and that was the big complaint amongst Florida fans. And I've heard that same complaint amongst Predator fans. He's a nice guy, but you got to be able to make those adjustments when it comes down to crunch time. And I don't see it. I never saw this happening to the Preds this year. I thought they'd be a heck of a lot better. So I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Appreciate the call, and I think that's all very fair points. And I think that's why he didn't get the job full time in Florida, and they went with more experience, and they ended up winning the Cup. So I think that's certainly fair. But is he willing to do that moving forward? We'll find out. There's a text that I want to get to about leadership with this team coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
How would you describe the locker room on a game like tonight where, it just seems like it's kind of building and building and then there's just nothing at the end? I mean, is it just like, are guys trying to pick each other up, or is it just kind of hanging their head?
No, we do. We, it's kind of been our year, right? Like we feel like you're building something and then the next game we take a step back and, we talked a lot before the break, we talked a lot after the break, and, it's tough right now. It's a tough season. It's tough mentally, but we have a clear goal as a team. Like we want to build something here in this next 26 games, however many games there's left, and we're trying to build something. Like I said, we're trying to get to an identity, get to our game, and find some consistency, and something we haven't done this year. And we got lots to play for, so. It's definitely not that guys just hanging their head and just playing. We're playing for a purpose, and we just got to show it more.
Predators captain Roman Josi after the 5-0 loss last night to the New Jersey Devils, chasing Big Joe on this Monday. And I wanted to address Josi in particular because a lot of you have brought him up on the text line, and we see this, when a team's not doing well. This is a very easy go-to topic. 5136 says a team full of leaders is lacking leadership. Josi is awesome, but not sure he should have the C. Someone needs to step up. And then when I did the tease, we got another text that said, oh man, another Josi isn't fit to be captain text. I am sure of it. Look, if it was one or two players, but the whole team is junk, this ain't on Josi. They are still trying to win. They just can't. They can't gel. That falls back on the coach. I love how we skip the coach who develops the plan right after the captain. And look, I agree with that text. This is not on Roman Josi. And it's a very easy, there are two easy arguments. Fire the coach and, he can't be captain. At the end of the day, the team as a whole just isn't good. And yes, coaching falls into that. Yes, the individual performance of players falls into that. But Roman Josi is a good captain. He's a good leader. Just because y'all don't see everything doesn't mean it's not happening. Like, we also live in this world that, well, if I didn't see it, or if I didn't I didn't read it on Twitter, then it must have not happened. And that means he's not doing his job.
What do we need to see? Tell us what we need to see.
The conversations behind closed doors.
All right.
But they're behind closed doors for a reason. That's between the team.
But we had the argument when Shea Weber was a captain. Those arguments weren't there. Jason Arnott was a captain. Those arguments weren't there. Why are they there now?
I hear those arguments were there with Arnott.
I hear more about Josi shouldn't be a captain than I ever did Shea Weber or Jason Arnott. Far more. But I don't know. I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. You guys are experts. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the second line from the fourth line, from the first line to the third line. I don't even know the name of the backup goalie.
I think
what's his name?
Justus Annunen.
Okay. I know he was terrible last night, right?
Well,
right? So I just know that. I'm a fan. I want them to win. So I see things different than kind of you do, because you're in the locker room, you know the players, you know everybody involved. I just want them to win. And I don't know why they're not winning when they're loaded with superstars.
Everybody wants them to win. I want them to win. But, sitting here, like, at the end of the day, can it not be it's just on the whole team?
Like, say it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
I know. Why is everybody so afraid to say that?
The team sucks. This year, they suck. Now, I'm not saying they can't fix that, but the end result right now, this year, is they're not good.
Right.
They're not winning.
That's right.
You are what your record says
Bingo.
You are.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And they know that. I know that. You know that. But to sit here and go, well, the only reason they're having a bad year is because the head coach can't coach and the captain is terrible. That's not it. It can be a lot of different things.
I just don't like the fine line, like we're hurting their feelings to say, you guys aren't good. It's okay. Right. You're not having a good year. Play out the year and come back next year. It renews next year. I don't know why we just can't say you're not good.
Yeah. And look, I can tell you, based on conversations that I've had with people, they are just as perplexed as all of us. They feel awful. Like they want this to change.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And unfortunately, the only thing that is probably going to make that change is Barry Trotz is going to have to make changes. Like, I think this team's going to look different in 2 weeks. Gus Nyquist is getting traded. I can tell you that right now. He's in the last year of his contract. There are teams that are contenders that want him. So he's going to be able to ship him off and probably get a good draft pick for him. I mean, hell, he might get a first-round pick for him if you get a desperate team. He's probably not, no offense to Gus, not worth that. But, I mean, that's what happens this time of year. Ryan O'Reilly, same thing. Barry Trotz said it probably a month ago when he was on with Stillman, that he really has to be blown away for him to trade Ryan O'Reilly, because he likes that he brought him in for a reason. Ryan O'Reilly is, you talk about leaders, that's a leader. And the thing about this is my last thing on the captain. Roman Josi wears the C because they have a C, they have 2 A's, and those are the guys that basically can communicate with the referees during a game.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Josi is certainly captain material, but they got 3 other guys probably on the team that are the same thing. So in a sense, they've had this for a while. They have a leadership group. I mean, it's not just one guy, so it's just because Steven Stamkos or Ryan O'Reilly don't wear a C doesn't mean they're not doing captain type things. They've both been captains before.
You know what? I hate the term leadership group. It only comes out when your team's terrible. You don't hear the Braves and won the World Series in 21. Did they have a leadership group? When the Blackhawks won in 10 and 12 and the Kings won the Stanley Cup, do we have leadership groups then? I mean, you go back to all I don't think so. I only hear that term when the team's bad.
Peter Laviolette talked about it all the time. They did a hell of a lot of winning with Peter Laviolette.
I only heard it when they were getting bad.
Oh,
I'm telling you, I don't hear that.
Hearing.
No, it's not a leadership group. I only hear it now.
Peter Laviolette used that term at nauseum. And so did John Hines. We got a good leadership group. We talk about our leadership group.
Well, who's the leadership group? Is it 4 guys? Did they run it like Knights of the Round Table?
It's Josi, O'Reilly, Forsberg, Stamkos. I'm probably forgetting some guys, but yeah.
Keep naming the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's
everybody's accountable. I just always hate those terms.
Not. Of course,
those PR terms, the leadership groups. I always hate those. Just go out and play and win and find a way to win and get mad that you're not winning. That's my problem, Chase. I don't feel like they're mad. I don't feel like they're mad. I hear the sound bites. We all hear the same sound bites. I want to know that you're mad. That makes me feel better in my small, pathetic world that I know that you're mad you're losing.
Yeah.
Because I'm mad. All right, that's just it.
Well, and you know what? I will say, I'm not trying to make this a positive, but I'm just making this a point. A lot of you are mad, and that's good, because I think for one franchise in town, apathy set in and nobody cares anymore.
Right.
For this one, that's not the case. People are pissed off. And look, the organization's mad too. Whether you think you're hearing it or not, they are. They're mad, they're disappointed. They are all those adjectives because everybody thought this was going to be a really good year. Now, I mean, realistically, I don't know if it was, hey, we're going to win the cup, but they thought it was going to be a really good year, and it wasn't. So what
happened? I mean, what's going on? What happened? You bring in superstars.
I don't know.
With a decent foundation, and you're terrible. I think the fact that we can't figure this out, everybody, drives us crazy.
Yeah.
Drives us crazy.
Well, look, I can tell you the number one, when they do locker cleanout day, which I think their last game is like April 15th, it'll probably be the 16th or 17th. The question that every person in that room that does availability, which should be the whole team, is going to be asked, what do you think went wrong? And I'd be curious to go. I mean, I'll do it. I'll volunteer to do it. I'll go ask everyone the same question, because I'd be curious to hear everybody's answer.
Yeah. Well, I love that. We got to know. And that's the thing. We got to know what went wrong.
But at the end, sometimes there aren't answers to a question.
But there are solutions.
There are solutions. That is right. Speaking of solutions, we're very hyper local on this show. And there was something that happened over the weekend that it looks like it might have been resolved, but we're going to talk about it next.
But thanks to you, area high school had their lawnmower and everything else trailers stolen, but you guys came together, did not know each other, came together, put the word out, and we have a very, very cool and happy ending we'll share with you in a moment.
We'll do that coming up next. Jason Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe here on this Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hope you're having a good day. We had it, there was something that happened over the weekend, Joe, and you can explain a little bit more, but had a bad start, but a good ending.
It did. One thing I hate in this world, I hate lazy people and I hate thieves. And this weekend, Lawson High School baseball team had their entire trailer of mowers and everything stolen. But as we're going to learn, we're going to bring on the head coach of Lawson High School, a dear friend of ours on the show, Kobe Ginsberg. Kobe, I hear we have very good news, right?
We do have good news. Thanks for having us on. Yeah, so on Thursday night, about 2 a.m, somebody broke into our garage and stole our zero-turn mower and our gator, which we use to manicure our field, drag our field. And we didn't actually realize it till Sunday morning when we came up here to go find the gator, and it wasn't in the garage. And so we looked on our cameras, found a suspect, put it on social media, and it blew up. And about 30 minutes ago, it was found in White Bluff, the Dixon County Sheriff's Department, who's been unbelievable. They've been up all night with this, have recovered it, and we're going to get all it back today. So the power of social media has finally done a good thing.
Last I saw was like 700 shares on Facebook alone to do that. And you were hearing from people that have no connection to your high school, correct? That were helping out.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the trailer was actually not ours. It was stolen from a home site up the street from ours. And so when I posted that, the people that own the home site called and reached out and said, yeah, that's our trailer. And the timestamp matches up where the person took it from there and then came up here and took it. And then we had really good video and pictures of the truck itself. And so as soon as we did that, people could identify the truck and knew who it was. And then, the Kingston Springs Police Department, who has nothing to do with us, reaches out to me and says, hey, we have a good tip. We know where it is. And long story short, then, because it's not in their jurisdiction, they got Dixon County involved. Woo! And Dixon County has been out there all night. They executed a search warrant at 5:30 this morning. This guy calls me, the detective, and says, hey, we're going to the judge's house to get him to sign it. We've been out there all night. We're ready for this. And as soon as we have that, we're going to get your stuff. Pull up there, got it. Dude admitted to doing it, found a bunch of stolen items there, some other things that I don't really care to discuss, but it's at the end of the day, it's beautiful because everybody moved quickly. The community jumped on and helped us out, got the word out, and 2 different law enforcement agencies that have nothing to do with Metro worked all night for us and got our stuff back.
Kobe Ginsberg is with us, baseball coach at James Lawson High School. Here's the thing, I hear you tell this story, and I am so thankful and grateful that this stuff was found. But now I'm take this dude and throw him in the slammer for 80 years,
right.
because my whole thing is you're affecting kids, and that's what really ticks me off.
Yeah, no, we have to fundraise everything. As we've been on your show before. You guys helped us out with our first pitch dinner and all that stuff, and everything that we buy is hard earned by our parents, by our kids, to raise that money to be able to have this stuff. And here we have 3 scrimmages this week to get started. And we were oh, the kids are going to have to hand drag the field because we don't have anything. And so we had a ton of people step up and be hey, we're happy to let you use our gator for the season until you figure it out and all the things. And so the community support has been unbelievable. And so it's heartwarming. It's great. It's amazing. It's all the things. And we're happy to be able to get our stuff back and get ready for our season this week.
And why this is such a big deal. We've talked about this before. You and your staff, and this is every high school in Metro, you do the yards, you mark off the baselines. You guys do everything. There is, and I'm not slamming Metro, you know this, but there's no support for you and these kids at these high schools in Metro. That's why Chase and I love doing this for schools in Metro, because we know the lack of support you guys get.
Yeah, it's not lack of support. It's just that the district is too big. They can't do it. We're the biggest district in the state, and there's a lot of sports programs, and so it's on the individual coaches to be able to get their stuff ready. And the more effort and work you put into your field, the nicer it looks, and it's for the kids. And so all of that is a huge factor. And I was up all night, talking to the detectives in the middle of the night, it's stuff that I'd never had to do before with police reports and all that, but it's all worth it because we are going to get our stuff back.
When's your first game?
So we have 3 scrimmages this week: Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And our first official game is next Monday at Cheatham County, and our first home game is next Tuesday against McGavick. I don't know if there's a guy on this thing that's going to be rooting for one way or the other, but he does wear a Lawson hat a lot on his social media, so I got to think he's got to go with us.
Oh my God, you're killing me, man.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we're glad
Sweden.
that
You can be Switzerland. Is it Sweden or Switzerland? It's Switzerland.
Yeah,
One of those
Switzerland,
countries.
yeah. He can be. We're glad that this had a good ending and that all the stuff was found. But anytime we can help out, we certainly are happy to do so. So thanks so much for coming on today.
No, I appreciate you guys having us, and you guys have a great week. Joe, we'll see you next Tuesday with your Lawson hat on.
You got it, bro.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Love you guys. See you.
Yeah, absolutely. Kobe Ginsberg joining us here on the program, friend of the show, been on with us many, many times over the years, and the head coach at James Lawson High School. So I'm glad. Look, I'm glad they found it. But seriously, the dude that did it, just throw the book at him, because you're messing with kids.
I'm not saying
pisses me off.
We're perfect, but would you ever do?
No.
Right? I mean, when I was a kid, I'd steal gum from the store. I get all that, right? But to be brazen enough to steal a trailer, then go up to high school and do that. There are cameras everywhere. That's why.
Look,
good.
We are all. No one's perfect. We're all sinners in some way. So, like, I'm not judge not, lest he be judged.
Correct.
But there's a list of commandments. One of them is thou shalt not kill. The other one is thou shalt not steal.
Right.
Like, they're the same. So they're on that same list. So just keep that in mind.
Can you name all 10 commandments?
Maybe. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not lie. In lying, one of them.
I don't know. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's ass.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Dr. Crane? You're the Catholic here.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Don't commit adultery. Yeah.
Yeah, adultery is one.
You should love no
honor,
other God.
honor thy father and thy mother.
Yep.
Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Something like that.
Yep. Love no other. Don't worship false idol. I'm like, this is terrible.
False idol. Yeah.
This is terrible. Sorry, Lord. We'll get
honor your father and mother.
We'll do better.
I said that one. Yeah.
So we're not perfect.
Nope,
that
we're not
shows
perfect.
you. Oh,
thou shalt remember these commandments.
oh Lord.
So appreciate him for joining us. Brett Kern is going to join us coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on the Combine, the Titans, and all that stuff as well. Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Monday. Hope you're having a great start so far. He's Joe. I'm Chase. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos behind the glass. Combine week in the NFL, and I know our next guest is so excited about that. Brett Kern, former Titans punter, joins us now. You just got to love the Underwear Olympics, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I think the highlight of the Combine is probably St. Elmo's or Harry and Izzy's, right?
Oh, yeah.
Getting some good grub up there. But, yeah, it's, a chance to, I think, really, teams to get together and maybe discuss more or less like what's going to happen in free agency and deals and trades and all that kind of stuff. And I think the whole Underwear Olympics just kind of is a diversion for what really happens at the Combine.
Yeah, no, I agree because, I mean, guys don't throw anymore. Like, I don't think Shedor's throwing. And so it's just kind of like, what's the point? But I remember Floyd telling me, I mean, that's when a lot of deals, going into the draft got done because of all the conversations at St. Elmo's or somewhere that, that took place between GMs. And I know going a couple of times, I'd see, guys everywhere be like, oh, wait, Belichick's talking to that guy over in the corner and all of that. So I guess that's still the purpose of it, but it's just another step in the draft process.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't, you've had guys not throw in the past, right? Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, Andrew Luck, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, right? But I think for me, I think those guys were pretty much consensus. Number one, number two, at least top 5 picks, right? For sure. And so I guess for Shedeur not to throw is just kind of puzzling to me, right? I don't know if it's just, you're not throwing to your normal receivers. I don't know what it is. Obviously, the interviews are probably the most important thing, but it's like, I guess I have the mentality of if you want to be the number 1 pick, like I'll throw for wherever, whoever, anywhere, right? I'll show you what I got. So, I don't know. Obviously, it's a business decision at the end of the day, but and it's worked out for some other guys. But I guess when Shedeur and Cam, you hear some guys talk about they don't even have a first round grade on them, right? And so why not go out there and prove that you're worthy of the first pick or a top 5 pick?
We're talking to former Titans punter Brett Kern on the Chasing Big Joe show. Brett, how did the NFL find you?
That's a great question because I was not invited to the Combine. I had one workout with Brad Seeley, who at that time was the special teams coordinator for the Browns. My pro day consisted of me, doing the University of Toledo Underwear Olympics. And anything that I got asked was about my teammates. So I would sit down. I would sit down with a team. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's talk. I remember the Colts. Hunter Smith was at the end of his contract, and I knew they needed a punter, and they had a bunch of like 6th, 7th round picks. And so I sat down with them, and they brought a guy, and he was like, "Hey, man, I want to work you out on a pro day." And so, of course, there was like 2-3 inches of snow on the grass at Toledo on the turf there. And so, I went out there, I shoveled my little patch where I was going to punt. I told them where to stand, hit some directional punts, all that kind of stuff. And we got done with the workout. And I was like, hey, so, are you a special teams coach? Or, he's like, no, I'm actually they just hired me a month ago. I'm like the assistant to the assistant for the head scouting director. He's like, I honestly can't even tell you who the special teams coach, what his name is. And he's like, I just wanted to go back to Indy and tell him like, hey, I conducted a workout with punter. And the next thing he asked me was like, so was that a good workout? And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And so that was my pro day. And then, when I talked to other teams, they were asking me about my other teammates, as far as them as teammates and their skills, abilities. And I just, so that was no combine, none of that. And, thankfully, like I said, the Lord worked things out to get out to Denver and battle out there for a job.
How when you get the phone call from Denver where you're like, oh no, is this another guy I want to be a coach, or how did that work out?
No, that was real deal. Just because, I knew there was probably about 3 or 4 teams. I kind of had like obviously a late round draft, 6th, 7th round potentially. But my phone was actually ringing before the draft was even over. Teams that were done with their picks. And so we knew, my agent and I, my family, and we knew that Denver was a spot, because that's actually when Todd Sauerbrunn got kicked off or suspended because he punched that cab driver. So
that's right.
He missed the final 4 games of the season, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not bringing this dude back." And so we knew Denver had it was going to be an open competition for the punting spot. And so Indy was a chance. There were a couple other teams. I think Baltimore. Sam Cook had just finished his rookie year, so there was opportunity. But then obviously when Denver called, I was like, okay, this is kind of the real deal, right? So and it's nice too, when you get drafted 6th, 7th round, you don't have a choice of where you're going, right? But when you're an undrafted free agent, especially in a specialist situation, right? It's like, okay, well, who really needs a punter? Who really needs a kicker? Who am I going against? Is there a veteran that I think I could beat out? What's the contract situation, of this veteran that's there, right? Is there any guaranteed money? So there's a lot of things you can look at before, you make your choice of where you want to go. And so thankfully, Denver, we knew they had an opening thanks to a guy that punched a cab driver, and there you go. So
the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history. That's right.
Brett Kern is on the line with us. We've had a lot of discussion across all of our shows on reclamation project quarterbacks. And, Sam Darnold is certainly a perfect example of a guy that, it flamed out in New York for whatever reason, and then kind of went through, Carolina and then San Francisco. And then we saw the year that he had with Minnesota. And now he's in position to get a pretty big contract. The
Right.
Titans have been viewed as a team that could possibly go that route, whether, it's a Daniel Jones or a Mac Jones or somebody of that ilk. But if Matthew Stafford's available, and he's certainly not a reclamation project, he won a Super Bowl with the Rams and obviously had a great career with Detroit. He's looking for about $50 million a year, it seems, but now that he might potentially be available because the Rams have given him permission to talk to other teams, is that the route? If you were the Titans, knowing that you hold the number 1 pick and could use that, capital somewhere for other holes that you have on your roster, is Stafford the one that maybe they should go after?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. You look at Sam Darnold, and obviously, so much of the draft is where you go, what offense you're in, who's your coach. I mean, it's a lot, right? And so I think, with Sam, a lot of people are saying, well, he had Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Kevin O'Connell was his coach. His O-line was a top 10 O-line, right? That's a pretty good setup for him, right? And so I understand, those questions, especially with, how he finished the season and then obviously the start of his career. So I think there's probably a little bit of hesitancy, I guess, in paying somebody. What do you think he's going to get? 45, 46, 47 million a year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a team, a team will pay that, I'm sure.
Right. And so if Matthew Stafford, if he comes out and says, hey, I want 50, is it worth the extra 3-4 million, right?
Yeah.
For somebody that's, a little more proven, obviously won a Super Bowl, has a longer career. But then, the next big question is, you want your quarterback to play 17 games, right? And so, do you think, Matthew Stafford has not missed many games. You can probably count on one hand, how many he's missed, right? So there's definitely, they say, I know in the Titans, training room, it says the best ability is availability, right? So who's playing and who can you count on? Who can you trust on to go out there and try to play all 17 games? And so I think that's definitely a question to be had, if Stafford is available, right? I mean, could that come with somebody like Cooper Kupp too? I don't know. I mean, then you're talking about trade picks and all that all that stuff, right? But why not have that conversation? You have to explore all your options out there. There's obviously a lot of quarterbacks that are available, but what ones do you feel comfortable with, given the keys, to play the season? And Will Levis isn't going anywhere. I mean, if you cut him, that's 4.8, of dead cap space that goes against your cap. And then that obviously takes away, about $5 million that you can spend on, some other players to get in here. So he's not going anywhere. You just need somebody to come in and have, some really good competition for him. And if you can go out and get a Matthew Stafford, why not?
We're talking to former Titans punter Brett Kern on the Chasing Big Joe show. Brett, I was at practice all those years that you played, and you were kind of the pseudo receiver to warm up quarterbacks for certain drills and everything. What's one quarterback that you hated catching a football from that you knew was just going to burn your hands?
Man, I tell you what, Rusty Smith had one gear and one gear only, and that thing was humming as hard as it could. And our thing too was like you couldn't wear gloves. Like that was a part of the, it was myself, Bo Brinkley, the long snapper, and anybody else that wanted to participate. Like that was, you can't wear gloves. So, sometimes catching those quarterback balls with those laces, oh man, it didn't feel great. But, Zach Mettenberger, he could absolutely, he could let you know that he could throw it hard. So I think those two guys, were some years where some practices where I was like, hey, can we put pump period first? Because I really, I'd love to warm up a little bit longer to get ready for pump period, then go over there and catch these missiles from these guys.
Did you ever hurt your back trying to bend over and catch Vince Young's passes?
No, I wasn't back with Fisher. He had the whole system or the whole setup with practice where special teams were knocked out before, percent of the guys even come out for practice. So I wasn't catching, quarterback balls from Vince or anybody. But when they changed the practice schedule around when Munchak did it, it was actually a really good way to warm up, loosen up, go run some routes, all that kind of stuff, work on your hands, just for holding and all that kind of stuff. And so, but yeah, I never caught any from Vince.
I thought the guy that had the prettiest football that you would catch from was a guy, and I forget his name now. He has YouTube videos. He got cut just a few years ago, and I forget his name. I thought he threw a pretty and a perfect pass. He just never, when he got in games, it just never got the job done. And I can't remember the guy's name now. Alex something? No, maybe not. Does that ring a bell? No. He had YouTube videos.
A lot of quarterbacks,
right? That came through here.
As we discussed earlier, Brett, a lot of running backs too. A lot of relevant running backs that came through here.
Oh, I missed that conversation, but yeah, there's a bunch of them. That's for sure. Really, the running backs. I tell you what, your backup. As long as your backup can play special teams, that's clutch. So I remember there were some running backs. We had that conversation about Jackie Battle. Those running. I probably remember more of the running backs that had an impact on special teams than anything else. So.
Yeah, Alex Tanney getting a vote for.
That's it.
Is that who you're thinking?
Alex Tanney. That's it.
Yeah, he's coaching. So he was coaching up in Philly when I was up there, and then I think he followed Dyke over to Indy. So I think he's in Indy, if I had to guess.
Let's see what the internet says. He is with the Colts. He's a passing game coordinator for the Colts. So there you go. Very good.
Yeah,
Brett. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was going to say, catching for quarterbacks was fun. The one that always got me was, Tannehill. When he would throw, he would, some of those guys would throw it so hard that you could like turn around on a route, on a comeback or something like that, and you could see him throwing it. Tannehill and a couple other guys, like you would turn and that ball is literally 5 feet from your face. that thing comes so fast. But that was honestly probably one of my favorite things I did non-punting with the Titans was catching for quarterbacks.
What about, real quick before we go, what about Charlie Whitehurst, where you're like, this guy is so handsome and throws a great football?
Hey, he's the one that wanted number 6.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, we had that whole fake arm wrestling thing. But I told him I was not giving him number 6 because that's my number. So
yeah, good for you, buddy.
That was good. Brad, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk next week.
Sounds good. Y'all take care.
Yep, absolutely. Brett Kern, former Titans punter, joining us here on the program.
I got something for you.
Okay.
I want to know, Brett Kern started the Titans in 2009. I want to see if Chase McCabe could name every starting quarterback up until last year. It's not that hard,
I could probably do that.
But I want to see if you could do this. This could be fun.
All right, we'll do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. Of course, we're at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Appreciate Brett Kern for joining us. You can weigh in on anything we're talking about on our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com at 615-737-1025.
All right. Turn the mic on, JoJo. Sorry about that, buddy. All right, Chase, we're going to start off with this real quick. There are 5 Tennessee Titans quarterbacks since they moved here in 1999 that have led their team to the playoffs. Can you name all 5? Go.
Steve McNair.
1.
Ryan Tannehill.
2.
Vince Young.
3. Good job.
Kerry Collins.
4. One more.
Marcus Mariota.
My man, nailed it on that one. Good job, buddy.
Yep.
Those and Tannehill went 2-1. Steve went Tannehill went 2 for 3, but in 2019 he went 2 for 1. All right, starting quarterbacks. Can you name starting quarterbacks since 2009 when Brett Kern joined the Tennessee Titans? Can you name the starting quarterback in 2009? There were 2 of them.
Vince Young, Kerry Collins.
Excellent. 2010, there were 3 of them.
Vince Young, Rusty.
Yep.
Rusty Smith was 1, and then I think Kerry Collins was gone.
Good job.
Oh, it is Kerry Collins?
Yep.
Okay.
2011, this quarterback started every game in 2011.
Matt Hasselbeck.
Bingo. 2012, there were 2 quarterbacks. One started 11 games, one started 5.
Jake Locker, Matt Hasselbeck.
My man. 2013, there were 2 quarterbacks. One started 9 games, one started 7.
Jake Locker, Charlie Whitehurst.
No, sir.
Jake Locker and
Jake Locker's correct.
Rusty Smith.
No, sir.
Crap. What's his name? Went to Harvard or Yale or
What's his name? Went to Harvard.
Fitzpatrick.
Ryan
Fitzpatrick.
I would have not gotten that one. 2014, there were 3 quarterbacks that started. 6, 5, and 5.
Locker.
Whitehurst.
Oh, and the Met Show.
That's right.
Yep.
2015, 2 quarterbacks started. One started 12 games, one started 4. 2015.
Mariota.
That's 1.
And was it still Mettenberger?
My man, rolling through this. 2016, 2 quarterbacks. One started 15 games, one started 1. 2016.
Mariota.
Correct.
And Blaine Gabbert. Was he the next year?
He was 2018.
Oh. Red Arby's?
Got on auto roll there.
In fact, on 2016 and 2017, these 2 quarterbacks started for the Titans in 2016, 2017.
Marcus Mariota.
Here's your clue. FRA.
Oh, yeah, Matt Castle.
Attaboy.
All right.
2019, 2 quarterbacks.
Tannehill and Mariota.
2020, only 1.
Tannehill.
21, 1.
Tannehill.
22 had 3 quarterbacks started.
Tannehill, Malik Willis, and Josh Dobbs.
My man. 23, 2 quarterbacks started.
Tannehill and Will Levis.
And in 24, they had 2 quarterbacks start.
Will Levis and Mason Rudolph.
There you go. Good job, buddy, on that. You nailed it.
Yeah. Fun times.
I mean, it's just, with
the history of Titans quarterbacks.
With Mariota, there was a little glimmer of hope there. In 16 and 17, they got a little better. Then when he just wasn't, you kind of realized, he's not the answer. And then Tannehill came in.
Did Billy Volek ever start any games? Did he start like 1 or 2?
Billy Volek started, we go way back. He started 1 in 2003, 8 in 2004.
That's right.
And 1 in 2005 before him and Jeff Fisher got into a slapping match.
I will never forget that press conference after they traded him to San Diego. And Fisher was like, he had demands. That just did not sit well with me.
Right. And then they caught him at the airport.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I forget which TV station caught him at the airport. And he was like, yeah, man, the guys basically said Jeff Fisher is a big fat liar.
Yeah.
Of everything he's done.
Yeah.
And
that did not end well.
No. And I'll never forget because it was practice because Kerry Collins was signed not at the beginning of camp. And then because he did camp in 2006 at Austin Peay.
Yep.
And then Volek was there and Vince was there. And then Kerry shows up one day at the bubble. And I'm like, this guy's got a giant head. And we're like, oh my God, that's Kerry Collins.
Yeah.
And then boom, there was Kerry. I think Kerry Collins was a great signing at the time.
It was yeah. I mean, look, Volek was not a starting quarterback.
No.
It was a backup. And I told you my Billy Volek story, right?
No.
So he was in San Diego. They come back here. I think Rivers got hurt and Volek has to go in. And my dad and I were sitting like right behind the Chargers bench, like 4 or 5 rows back, something like that. Volek goes in on his first possession, throws a pick to the Titans, and I yell out, "Hey Volek, glad you finally found a Titan to throw to." And he turns around and flips me off.
Oh yes.
I was like 17.
And your dad's like,
that.
that's my boy. Here it is, real quick. The trade. Volek was traded September 19th. Titans coach Jeff Fisher has publicly stated that Volek was untruthful with him, and this may have led to his eventual trade. Fisher is quoted as saying, he was untruthful with me, untruthful with his head coach about where he was and what he was doing. So he started off on the wrong page, and that did not sit well with me.
That's it. That's where the did not sit well with me came from.
The trade was considered to have been messy, and although he has criticized Volek for lying to him, Fisher's not revealed what the lie was, and instead said that Volek never took advantage of his opportunities once he told he was a starter. Many critics say that Volek took full advantage of his chances to become the starting quarterback, pointing towards a reasonably good preseason the Titans had. I will tell you, I did not know that Billy Volek spent 6 seasons with the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, with the Chargers? Yeah,
he was 7 here.
Yeah.
Basically, and then 6 over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he stayed in the league a long time, but he was a backup.
He was.
That's what he was.
But that Christmas game in 2004, I think he threw a couple touchdowns.
See, that's right. I forgot. 2004, McNair got hurt. He was the backup, took over, then he got hurt, and they got Neil off the couch.
Yeah, that was 2003. Yeah.
Was that 2003?
Remember, he ruptured the Bills, he ruptured his spleen.
Yeah, that's right.
And
they got Neil off the couch, and then 2004, McNair was hurt.
That's right.
A bunch. And 2005 was McNair's last year here.
True.
I still just would have loved to have seen what it would have looked like if McNair had been here at least one more year and Vince was his backup.
That was the plan, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
That's what they wanted.
But then Matt Mock got in there and played really well at the last game.
Mock.
2005 season. And then all went straight to hell.
Matt Mock. Oh, what a good one. This moment in Titans history brought to you by Big Joe.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll have more coming up next here in just a few. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. Nashville's best deal this week is from Barrio Burrito Bar in Murfreesboro. At Barrio Burrito Bar, every bite is a celebration of fresh ingredients, vibrant spices, and bold flavors dancing on your taste buds like a fiesta in your mouth. Just head to theGameNashville.com/deals and get half off a $25 gift card while supplies last. You can try a bowl or burrito with their new and improved steak for the best steak burrito and bowl in town. So check that out. Back here on this Monday, Chase and Big Joe, 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. Let's go hear from the Donut Man.
Yeah.
Clay, who has called in. Hello, Clay.
Boys, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. What shall we talk about today?
Well, I don't know. You called us.
Joe told me to call in, so.
No, I said we don't restrict callers. You're more than welcome to call in whenever you want, just not when we got a guest. So now you've got the floor, buddy.
But, remember when Chase said, this better not be about Vanderbilt.
Well, Vanderbilt had a very nice win against Ole Miss, so you can talk about
Because it was right when the Titan season was ending. There's a time and place for everything. Don't you read the Bible?
Was a big win. Chris Magnan, quite frankly, was as responsible as anybody for Vanderbilt winning that basketball game. He plays 21 minutes. Here's a kid that's averaging 5 points a game.
He's a good player, though. I like him.
Yeah, he's a defender. He's just a hustle guy, kind of a trash guy, things like that, but does not score a lot. Well, all he does in 21 minutes is score 16 points, have 7 rebounds, 3 or 4 blocks, and 3 or 4 assists. He is the main reason why Vanderbilt still in a halfway decent position tournament.
Yeah. No, and I was noticing, and I've noticed this in a few games, I like how Byington will take like Jason Edwards and Tyler Nickel, sub them out, put Magnan and Tanner in, and just kind of keep rotating those guys in and out based on situations. So it worked, and they got the win.
7 rebounds, 3 or 4 blocks.
Turn the radio down, Clay.
Why are you a disaster every time you call in? Every time you call in, we love you, but why are you a disaster?
I noticed this in a few games. I like how Byington will take
all right, Clay. Bye.
We got it going on for days with that. Clay, when you hear this in 48 seconds,
did he just want to hear what he had to say?
That's y'all turn down your car phone when I hear you ain't going. Clay, you know that. Come on, man.
That was funny.
He's so upset. Every time he's like, well, that one time Chase told me this better not be about Vandy. I'm like, if you have an hour theme show about a subject, don't call in with something else.
Like now we can talk about.
Oh my Lord.
I'll never forget. There was one time that I was doing the show before your time, before you got back here, and we were talking something about the Titans, and like the call screener even said the guy wanted to talk about the Titans, and then it was like South Carolina women's basketball.
Oh man,
I was like, what? I'm so confused.
So what was he trying to get? He thinks Vanderbilt's got a chance to get in the tournament. Well, I
think they got a very good chance of getting in the tournament.
Go down and beat.
It's another ranked win.
Yeah, and beat Texas on Wednesday.
Texas A&M.
I thought it was. Is it A&M?
Yeah.
What do I know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Kevin Ingram just told you in the last break.
He did, and you can hear that game Wednesday starting at 5:30 right here on 102.5.
Yep. Actually, I think it's on 90. It is on 94.9.
I just shut up.
Yeah, it's whatever. That's fine.
But if you go down and just win from in on out, just get the job done.
Yep.
So I'd love to see him back in.
You got Texas A&M, and then you got Missouri here. Missouri's pretty good, but you take care of both of those, and I think you're looking pretty good going into the SEC tournament.
Is the last time Vandy made the tournament, was that Cornette's last year, Bryce Drew's first year in 17, when they lost to Northwestern?
Probably.
To Elaine Bennis's son?
Yeah, probably.
God, that'll be 9 tournaments they've been out. Then we took those because under Kevin Stallings, they made it quite a bit. You kind of took it for granted.
So Bryce went to 1?
In 17, that first year, yeah.
Yeah, and they should have gone a few years ago when they went on that run with Stackhouse at the end. I think they kind of got screwed there. They should have at least been in the first 4.
I agree.
And then went to the NIT. So yeah, I guess it's been that long. But I mean, look, the SEC is in position to get a lot of teams in.
That's crazy, man.
And the tournament this year at Bridgestone Arena is going to be phenomenal. I mean, Auburn, the final should turn out to be Auburn, Florida, but it probably won't. So
was it last year? Was Auburn, Florida?
Yeah,
Auburn.
Florida's really good. Auburn's really good.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and I like the way the tournament's set up. Remember, like Wednesday was like the last 4 teams that were terrible get in.
Now it's full days, man.
9-16, and then 5-8 on Thursday, and then the first 4 get a 2-day bye, so it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good.
Al says,
man.
love Clay. I assume he did that on purpose for the fun of it. Probably.
I don't think he's capable of understanding to do that on purpose.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It makes me laugh. There needs Johnny says on Twitter, there needs to be a gift that represents liking the sound of one's voice. That's what comes to mind when I think of Clay not turning down his radio.
But he's called talk shows for years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You've been listening to Nashville radio long enough. You're familiar with Clay.
Right.
That is for sure. I'd like him to call Stillman show sometime.
Oh God, Jared, hang up in 2 seconds. Be done with that.
That would be.
You can hear Clay on every radio station throughout every day. He calls in and talks Vanderbilt.
Yep, because he loves the Commodores, and I love that about him. Smashville Live coming up this Wednesday at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue at 6:00. See Predator star players up close and personal, and also get autographs and pictures this Wednesday at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue. We are looking forward to that. Speaking of basketball, let's give away some tickets for this Sunday as Belmont men's basketball takes on Murray State. That's always a good matchup between Belmont and Murray State at the Curb Event Center. Tip off at 2:00. We got a pair of tickets on the line. Caller number 5, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025 to win a pair of tickets to see the Bruins take on Murray State this Sunday at the Curb Event Center at 2:00. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. That's what we're doing. That is for sure. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, DVD. Coming up next, David James back there getting ready to go. For that show, Dr. Crane spinning the tunes. I mean, some of the stuff that just happens during the break, I mean, we'd get us fired, but
briefly, Chase and I have the honor of being in next month's issue of Williamson County Living. I think it is. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
We're honored. And there's a picture of us in the magazine. And again, we're humbled. Thank you very much. We love spreading our message of helping the guys out. But there's a picture of Chase and I there that just doesn't look right. And we can't stop laughing. We will share it with you later in the week when the magazine comes out. But my goodness.
It's a good one. That is for sure. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards, commercial plumbing and HVAC, all forms of HVAC units, commercial refrigeration, grease trap cleaning. Just visit them online at jarrettcompaniesinc.com.
All right, gentlemen, short list today, National Tortilla Chip Day. I love me some of that.
I am a big fan of the tortilla chips.
Very delicious.
Yeah.
We also have National Trading Card Day, so baseball cards.
Yeah. What's the one the Simpsons are fighting over?
That's the comic book. Yeah, the radioactive man.
Okay, that's
yeah.
right.
There's that. We also have Twin Peaks Day today, the mountains.
Not the restaurant?
Not the restaurant, no. But it's a great establishment.
Right.
They have good food.
Make whatever we want.
Let's see. We also have World Bartender Day to wrap it up.
Shout out to my bartender friends.
Yeah.
That's it?
Especially the ones
all
at
we got.
Brewhouse West.
Shout out to Isaac, the bartender from the Love Boat.
I was about to say. What about Sam and Woody?
Oh, yeah.
and
Coach.
All
right. Time for celebrity birthdays. Got to get these within two. Our first birthday, the great actor Barry Bostwick. He was on Spin City as the mayor with Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yeah. I love Spin City. 74.
75.
80. One of my favorite actors of all time, Lieutenant Castillo off Miami Vice, Edward James Olmos. Today's his birthday.
73.
65.
78.
Dang.
Oh, man. George Thorogood. Bad to the bone.
75.
65.
75 exactly. Dr. Crane going with the default early today. The bad guy from the Titanic, Billy Zane.
He was also in a superhero movie.
Was he in
Phantom or
Tombstone as well? I think he was.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. 64.
65.
59.
Thought it would work this time, okay, Joe?
It didn't, pal.
Trying to price is right me back there.
He was the uncle on The Sopranos, Dominic Chianese, the one that started everything.
74.
80.
94.
Oh.
Singer-producer Rupert Holmes. If you like pina colada.
There's Tim Hasselbeck. Wonder if he likes pina coladas. Getting caught in the rain. Looking good.
Yes.
I'm going to say 80.
77.
78. Dr. Crane's on the board. 2-1. Chase McCabe. News correspondent Paula Zahn.
58.
49.
69. Country
Nice.
singer Sammy Kershaw.
She don't know she's beautiful. Sammy Kershaw, 65.
61.
67. Chase up 3-1. I'll go down a few more here.
Time I told her so.
Oh, Sammy's good, right? Rapper actor O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Ice Cube's son.
That's right.
I saw a tweet from him earlier saying it's my birthday, but he didn't say his age. So
if you got to put out at your own birthday, that's okay.
33.
37.
34. Chase up 4-1. All right, sports birthdays. Phil Knight, the owner of Nike.
Phil Knight, 78.
74.
87. One of my favorite baseball players of all time, Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray
from the Orioles.
67.
I trigger happy. I don't know.
Okay.
62.
69. Chase up 5-1. Phil McConkey, former New York Giants receiver, won Super Bowl. Feisty little guy. Reminds you of a young Sean Henry.
65.
67.
68. 5-2. Chase. Fawad Reves, former Tennessee kicker Fawad Reves, who I think married a girl from McGavick.
60.
62.
62 exactly. It's now 5-4. I like this. Former 49ers quarterback Jeff Garcia.
What's wrong with you? Jeff Garcia, 55.
58.
55 exactly. Chase up 7-4. Simeon Rice, the great player out of Illinois and played for the Cardinals, right?
Illinois. 50.
49.
51. Chasers up 8-4, within striking distance of the all-time record if he gets the next two. Former Masters champion Zach Johnson, the golfer. He won in 2007.
46.
48.
49. It's 8-5. Our last birthday, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Chase, you can hit double digits if you get it head on, buddy.
44.
49.
48. Chase wins 8-6.
That was
Good
a good
job.
one. That was a good one. That's for sure.
You got a nice lead, held on, and then you put Chris Mason in at goal, and you gave up like 4 goals.
Why are you?
I love Chris Mason.
Why
He
is
knows
Chris
that-
Mason getting the shade here?
He
Come
knows
on.
that I love Chris Mason.
Chase has a good haircut. That's why you got that
Thank
win.
you. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that. That is going to do it for our lovely show today.
Hey, as we leave our show all the time to the guys out there, if you are struggling and going through a rough spot, look, Sunshine's here today. Sunshine's going to be around. We need you around on your cell phone. You can call or text 988. Somebody's always there to talk to you. I'm telling you, once you talk to somebody, you'll feel so much better. Don't take it all alone. We're here for you. Reach out to us. We love you. And more importantly, more than anything else, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.